TYT Sports, Ben Mankiewicz, J.R. Jackson. I always look like an idiot when I do that. Let's just see how that goes. Rick Strom is out there producing the show. So, you know, I grew up, I wanted to be a baseball broadcaster. Did you probably wanted to be like a professional athlete.
That was growing up, yes.
Yeah. I knew right away that wasn't going to happen. So I wanted to be a baseball broadcaster. And then, so there's this guy in Lake County. Rick, this is near you, right? The Lake County Fielders. They play in the North Atlantic League.
It's got to be near.
It's just north of Chicago. I've now learned this information. Rick could not come up with this information. So it's the independent league, the North Atlantic League, North American League, excuse me. North American League, north of Chicago. And so what's the story with this guy? The team, Rick, had been, they like the owners aren't paying, right?
The owners are apparently not paying the players and the broadcast people, the media, any stipends or money towards food, towards meals, and they're not paying for airplane baggage fees, which he goes on to say.
I mean, first of all, okay, they're not paying for airplane baggage fees. Like, you're playing in the North American League, right? It's an independent minor league. They're probably not going to pay your baggage fees.
Well, are they paying salaries is the next question.
It's unclear whether they're paying salaries. So they go out, they weren't paying salaries, so they go out on the road, right, is what this guy said had happened. And there was like some big insurrection last week with the team. And a bunch of players and coaches quit because they're not affiliated with any organization. So you're not like ending your career if you quit.
Okay.
You know, you're hoping to do well here and maybe get signed to by a major league team as part of their be signed by one of their minor league teams. So apparently last week a bunch of guys quit because they weren't paying on the road. They weren't giving the meal stipends to anybody on the road. So a bunch of players quit and they weren't paying this announcer either. And now the announcer has decided that he is standing up for all those players and owners, and this was at the end of a game this weekend. Is that right, Rick? Was it this weekend? So at the end of a game this weekend, he announces the game, and then he makes this big speech. And again, he's speaking up for the players who just recently quit.
I have had friends, including those very talented players that I mentioned, work for the Fielders, get treated unfairly, seen it firsthand. Unfortunately, I won't get an apology from ownership to me on behalf of those players, those coaches, those staff members. They can't be here right now. They can't let their voice be heard on the airways, but I will be the voice of the voiceless.
Oh.
So Martin Luther King of minor league baseball.
Yeah.
He's
He's standing for his people. He's standing up.
He'll be the voice for the voiceless.
But you know, I'm looking for a little bit more fire from this guy. Usually when you hear someone that's getting, you feel a build up of their intensity. I felt like it was coming, but he didn't have enough fire. He had the words without the fire.
And you haven't even heard this, so that's impressive because this thing went on. He got about 4 minutes. That's about a minute into it, right? So you're right. He is about 4, and he goes through and he explains what he had. There's a little. What's his name, by the way? His name's great.
Qumar.
I love it when we just we don't have much to say when our big line is that we make fun of a foreign guy's name.
Bust your ass.
It works for them.
What kind of name is that anyhow, huh? Qumar. What is that, like 5 O's or 2 U's? No.
So this guy spells Qumar, Qumar. Oh. Normal spelling of Qumar. So anyway, so he gets going, you're right. And then, and he finishes here, in this final game, he finishes with a flurry and gets a standing ovation.
My opinion, the problem is that those in charge really don't care and they don't give a damn. My problem is I care too much. I care too much for the former players, the former coaches, the fan base, the current employees, and everyone else associated with the Lake County Fielders. That being said, I did not need this job, and because of the circumstances that affected the former coaches, former players, and myself, I don't want this job anymore. Good night and good luck.
There was actual applause?
Yeah, I think it was one guy. Good night and good luck. A little Edward R. Murrow out the door. That's it. He's done. You know what? God bless Qumar Zaman.
Yeah, you know what? He built up a little bit, I think, there, right?
Yeah, well, the little the voice of the unheard. What was it? I can't believe I didn't know.
The voice of the voiceless.
The voice of the voiceless. That's a little much, but all right, it's okay.
Well, that's the fire, like you were saying from the beginning. Certain guys are cut out to be announcers. Certain guys are cut out to be athletes. So when he maybe wanted to be an athlete, but he just didn't have enough fire.
I'd hire this guy. Like, I'd hire him. This guy's got principles. He went on for 4 minutes there. They didn't cut him off.
I mean, an athlete would have said, I don't want this job. I don't fucking need this job. So get the fuck out of my face with this. Something's gonna happen. Somebody's gonna get choked. Something bad would happen. They'd have gone physical. They'd have grabbed somebody. He just says it very calmly. He signs off. He remembers to have a reference back to an old school broadcaster.
Yeah,
it was perfect.
Little Edward R. Murrow. Yeah. Earlier in the thing, he talked about how this weekend I'm gonna go out with my friends, Danny and Jake and Steve. Like he did, he's like naming his friends, like that they're all gonna go out and get a drink.
This is what would happen. I was thinking originally when I first saw the headline for that, I was thinking, oh, this guy must have won the lotto. And he's like, dude, they've done me wrong in times before, so let me just sign off and be like, everybody had that moment when they dislike their job, when you'll say, if I won the lotto, man, I'm gonna quit like fire behind me as I walk out this bitch, you know? But he didn't even win the extra.
Yeah, I don't think when I had that fantasy, I included the term walk out this bitch, but.
Let me ask you guys something.
Yes, sir.
Don't you think it would totally take a toll on you when you deal with so much crap over and over and over? Granted, it's a minor league team. They should get something in return. They should definitely get their meals paid for. I understand his frustration. I would never do it over the air, though.
Oh, no. First of all, I love that he did it over the air. I love him. He's Turk of the Day, Qumar Zaman.
Yeah, Qumar.
And I've decided that's how I'm pronouncing it. No, I think he should have every right to do it over the air. It's his only recourse. He's not going to get paid. And no, he should get paid. He should get meal money. You can't go around the country and not get. You got to. I mean, probably, what do they give him? 25 hours a day?
Let me ask someone. I guess the fear. I don't know if maybe this is where you're going with it, Rick. Was that you wonder where your next job is coming from? He said he already had a job, I think.
Yeah, this is not a full-time gig.
So like maybe he wants to get higher than a minor league broadcaster. I don't know. Maybe he's saying he won't get a good reference. Maybe he'll be remembered for this rather than being a broadcaster. If that's what you're talking about, I can see where you're going.
I think it's ballsy. I like
it still.
Yeah,
of course.
I love it. I love it.
I mean, first off, this team isn't paying anybody. The owner, I mean,
yeah, what are you gonna do? You're not paying. Guess what? They might make fun of you publicly.
Fred McCourt's running this team. I would love to hear Vince Scully go. I can't do a Vince Scully. I'm sorry, but what I want is to be a voice for the voiceless. I can't do a fucking Vince Scully.
I love the idea of Vince Scully.
You, sir, are an idiot.
I would love for him to do it.
Oh, that'd be great if Vince Scully just walked out at the end of the broadcast because Frank McCourt didn't pay him. It'd be so great.
Hold on. Before we end this story, you know who is the partial owner of this team? Did you see?
Who, Bill Murray?
Kevin Costner.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
That's why they're the Fielders, the Field of Dreams.
Really? There you go. That's right. He's the part owner? Wow. Man, Kevin Costner going to have to pay these guys. Does he know what's going on? That's crazy talk.
I'm not his agent. How the hell would I know?
Kevin Costner's now is embarrassed. Like he's got to have to. This is going to cost him $40,000. He's got to pay these players. He's got to pay these coaches.
Maybe that's the one thing the guy missed. You got to call out who the big name guys are. Like, and Kevin Costner, part owner of this team, isn't backing us up.
Wow, man, that is.
That's smooth.
That's an awesome story. All right, Rick, you just made it better.